morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. Good morning to you. I am still blah today. I am still blah today. I'm still blah today. So, welcome to my life. Hi, Emily. How are you? Remember, tapping is clapping on the TikTok, and y'all on the YouTube. Thumbs up. All the Floridians, hope you are surviving. Hope you have survived. Hope you don't have too much damage, and hope you are safe. Right? I know it was a devastation. I have. How good, Kim? Kim's power just came back on. I have a couple of zoomies in my. Okay. Never lost power. Oh, sorry. How nice. That's good. So, anywho, my thoughts go out to y'all in Florida. That's some scary shit. And I know Kim said she has to be careful because of a cyclone. What the hell is a cyclone? What the hell is a cyclone? Now, the only cyclone I know of was the pinball machine. Come on and ride the Ferris wheel. But I think it was called the cyclone. Oh, y'all, this is crazy. Crazy. I know tons of tornadoes. Trust me, we were watching it. We had two of our Floridians on the Zoom. They were giving us updates as much as they could. One lost power, one did not. I have a couple friends who live in the villages. They are okay. So, holy crap balls. I bet y'all those sounds were scary beyond belief. Hope you're all high. You guys were either high as a kite or drunk, because I could not have dealt with that. Good morning. Remember, tap, 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 tap. As far as YouTube, well, it's just simple. Just a thumbs up. The whole night was scary. I bet. Two of my friends didn't sleep all night. I don't blame. I don't think I could have either. Oh, good, Maria. Maria is good. All right. As drunk as Cooter Brown. Y'all know who Cooter Brown is? One of our pack. I'm going to start calling my Zoomies the pack. And I'll tell you the story behind that. But, I didn't know. And she said, y'all, I was as drunk as Cooter Brown. And we were all, what? I was drunk as Cooter Brown. Well, who the fuck is Cooter Brown? I have never ever heard of that saying, ever. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Marty. All right, Rudy. Cyclone is working a storm around a low pressure system and causes heavy rain and strong winds. Well, fuck me, timbers. Get me out. Florida, enough is enough already. Stop with this shit. Right? Stop it. Anywho. So, I'm going to start using that saying. I was drunk as Cooter Brown. You haven't seen me in forever? I've been here. Anywho, I'm on a different type of a live account because people, trolls, ugliness, want to take me down, and I'm not going to lose my account that has over 700,000 followers. Yeah, so like this one, this is just my live account. I have to separate because there are angry people out there. Angry people. I still have my other pages, but I will not do lives on them. I have this one and a 4, Mrs. D-Cell NorCal 4, for the backup to this live account. You gotta get smarter than the fucking idiots out there, you know what I mean? Hi, Dr. V. Is Ollie Cat here? I don't know if she pops in and out. Kathy. Yeah, F the haters. It's so horrible. So women have to get creative with their accounts. It doesn't happen, isn't it funny? how it doesn't happen too much to men, but it always happens to women. Even Mama Tot, y'all, Mama Tot is just getting reamed, losing followers because people changed her narrative to a video, right, that she put out. It's so fucking sad. You leave people alone. Anywho, I'm trying to, if you guys saw the live last night, you know, I was pissed at my husband. I'm pissed that I have to sit there and not be able to handle the trolls my way, right? I had to walk away because, you know, the women knew and they kept pounding me and pounding me and pounding me. And I'm trying to be quiet because my husband wants me to be. But at the same time, I look like a pussy. And I told him that. After the live, I said, you embarrass me. You treat me like a 2-year-old. And I'm tired of you not allowing me to do what I gotta do. So, I have boundaries, you know? I have boundaries. And I think it's okay to say, I'm not gonna sit here. If you're not gonna address the idiots, I'm leaving. Yeah, you know, Kay, I was pissed off at my husband. I was pissed off that he poo-pooed my shit, you know. I was pissed off that he was like, I don't even know what she's having done when I explained it to him. That hurts my feelings, you know. When you aren't listening, and I ask you specifically, did you hear what I said? Right? I was mad. I was mad at him, and I have been mad at him for a couple days now. It started with the Mama Tot and his defending of her, and you know, and it's warranted, right? What do I tell you every day? My feelings are valid, right? Whether or not he agrees with my feelings, they are my feelings. So he pissed me off. He pissed me off, and he's still pissing me off because he ignores it. He thinks it's funny. He thinks, you know, he's not doing anything wrong. Blah, 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 biscuit. But I will not continue to sit on his lives and get shit on repeatedly and him not allowing me to be me. I don't even need him to defend me, right? I just want to be able to do what I do here and handle it the way I want to. People were calling me a narcissist on the video. She just needs to stay away. Dan doesn't want her on the lives. No, Dan needs me on the lives. Dan needs me on the lives. He doesn't do lives by himself. He's not a solo gag. He's not a solo, person. He needs me on the live. You think I want to be on his live when I can't be me? No. No. It's not fair. And it's unfair for him to expect me to be quiet. Bye, Cindy. Yeah. Hi, thanks, Unky. I see you, Beach, man. Yeah, and so I don't have to have him, you know? I can do my own shit, handle it the way I want to. So he never apologizes, Leanna. He never apologizes. His way of apology is, you know, playing on the playground. No one would watch if you weren't there. He would have some. Yeah, he would have some people. So like at the same time. I don't know. I don't know what he would do. Right, if he's not, and I agree with that. And you all, I went over to dance when he started defending you, but no, you couldn't. There's so many people. And Joni, they're still going, you know? They're still calling me a narcissist, and I have to be on there to overshadow him because I'm self-absorbed. You know, all the bullshit. And it's not worth it because even my Zoomies try to tell him, right? Try to tell him, and he literally just shuts them down too. I know, Joni, and it's okay. You know, it's part of what we are faced with today in this world. But, right? But when there's so much shit that is slinging at you after a stressful day, I don't want to be quiet, right? I don't want to be quiet. And one thing, trolls, everybody in the back, I'm not embarrassed, nor am I ashamed of my behavior or my feelings. I do not hide. You see what you get. I am not fake. I will not pretend to be lovey-dovey with somebody who I'm not happy about. So, anyhow, you know, but if he's gonna poke, I'm gonna poke back. And if the fucking idiots poke, I want to be able to poke back. And if he is not going to allow me to poke back, well then I will move and I will leave. I'm not going to put up with bullshit, and I shouldn't be expected to. Anyhow, and yesterday was bad for me. You know, I had some shit I'm dealing with deeper than anybody ever knows, right? And you know, you have boundaries, and being on social media, you have to set your boundaries and know when enough's enough, especially on the days that we are just beat up, not from social media, but from life itself. And when social media comes into play and the ugly ninnies are out there and I can't do what I do, I don't want to be a part of that life. And I've said this multiple times before. I will not sacrifice myself and my identity and who I am for my husband. Won't do it. I learned a lot. I'm much happier now. Well, good, Leona. I couldn't leave. So, talk about the live last night. Mama Tot was emotional about you know, the hurricane, I think Helene, and she was on a rant, and people made it about, people changed her narrative, right? People changed her narrative and started calling her, I think, a Trumper, and just is making her life a living hell. And it wasn't about politics, it was just about her emotions. But the ninnies have to come into play, and the ninnies have to change the narrative, spread rumors, and spread lies. And then, you know, it's a backlash on us creators, right? Because the story gets big. She has 13 million followers, and she spans a lot of airtime. So, hi Erica, good morning. So, you know, I feel bad for her. Dan feels bad for her. But what's sad is I'm no different than her. The only difference is our amount of followers, right? The amount of the followers that she has in me. But it's still the same shit, right? So that's what I started getting irritated about. She spoke, but there was, people are calling her a Trumper. I mean, people want to make everything politics. And she was just saying how she said nobody's helping the victims, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then people want to tag a political affiliation to it. Hell yeah, Susan. And then, you know, you have the women on there going, so menopausal. It's like, bitch, are you kidding me? Yes. And like I said the other day, who cares who you vote for? Whether she's a Trumper or not, who cares? She seems like a genuine person. She seems like she's a sweetheart. She seems like she truly cares. Judge a person by Stop judging them by their cover or what they say. I am so tired of people, oh, I'm unfollowing you because I have a feeling, whatever. All because of a political affiliation? Well, then I don't want you anyway, right? I don't need you to be my friends. I can tell you all my friends that I have in my house don't vote the same way I do. But we're friends. It's because we have respect, we have love, and we have kindness in our hearts. And we're open-minded. Most of us, sometimes. Yeah. Oh, Maria, I'm happy you're here. I can assure you these people don't care about politics right now. They feel forgotten, and rightfully so. I get it because NC hasn't had anything like that before, right? Right, most people, thanks Drake, most people never ignore the love comments, so why did they tell you to ignore the hate comments? I don't get that logic either. And my husband's that big person of, just ignore them. Well, my moderators know, I was ignoring them, and they kept coming, right? They kept slinging, they kept shoving, they kept trying to knock me, right? They don't just go away, right? You gotta put them in your place. And most of the time when you put them in their place, guess what they do? They fucking leave because they look stupid. Now, some of the extreme ninnies keep fighting back, and at that point, right, you just block them. Or scared to ask to help because they think it's going to take their property. It's so sad, Kay. Yeah, good, Sarah. I stand by what I believe in, right? I stand by how I feel. And like I do every morning with you guys, I'm not afraid to be real, to be authentic, to be vulnerable. Thanks, Deb. Because that's life. I'm showing you life. I'm showing you inside my house. I'm showing you conflicts. People always say, well, if you're not happy with your husband, leave him. What? Because we have arguments. We don't have the same opinions on things sometimes, so therefore we aren't compatible? What? No. Most marriages don't have the same thoughts on everything. Majority, yes. Social media has been our biggest argument on how he wants me to handle my platform, right? I have, to the day I started, I listened to him. Made me that fucking weak, younger version of myself, and I don't like it. Fuck that. Fuck that. I am going to stay true to myself in everything I talk to you about. Could you imagine you guys would think so poorly of me? I sit here every morning, right? And I tell you guys, come on, boundaries, respect, your feelings are valid. And if I just sat there and displayed a quiet version of myself, you wouldn't believe me. I lose credibility if I don't stand up for myself like I tell you all to stand up for yourself. Fuck that shit. And if it means an argument with my husband online, so be it. Doesn't mean I don't love the fucker. It just means I'm irritated. And I'm tired of not being heard and understood, right? I stand up for myself. I promise you authentication, authentic. I promise you being authentic and real, right? I'm not hiding. I don't believe in hiding who I am. And if I'm asked to be that way, I will leave before I become complacent. I am done being complacent and allowing somebody to tell me how to be. Not gonna do it. Bullshit. I worked too hard to be where I am today. I worked too hard to be this strong. I worked too hard while talking with you guys to be and accept, right, who I am and like me for who I am. I am me. Like me, love me, or don't. But I have boundaries like everybody should, even with my husband. And I'm not afraid to show it. Yes, it's my problem. Dan even does the same thing, Drake. You know, if you even listened to Dan last night, the first thing I said, hi Jenny, to him is I said, you embarrass me. You embarrass me, right? I didn't embarrass you. Now you're telling me what you didn't do? Those are my feelings. You embarrass me. You treat me, right, like a child. Don't respond. I'm not going to deal with this if you're doing this. Well then, put a stop to it. Because it's not fair for me to have to sit there and get slapped repeatedly over and over again. Well, I don't see it. Oh, okay. Well, how do you not see every other fucking sentence attacking your wife? You allow it. You don't allow me standing up for myself, which in turn shows the ninnies that you allow it. That's why they attack me. If you go on my live, you see all the ninnies. Well, didn't you hear Dan? You know, he's embarrassed of her. You know, no, he's not. But he gives, right? He gives that impression to others. Yeah, Sarah, you know, he tries to be Switzerland, right? But I'm not. I'm not Switzerland. And I will not be silenced, or I will not be a part of your lives. Hi, Pepper. Or we will, yeah, he wants me to handle it like he does and ignore it, right? Do I look like somebody who ignores shit like that? No. Nobody's gonna put Danielle in a corner, and that's what he wants to do. Suppress me. He likes this version of me, right? He enjoys my lives in the morning time. He just doesn't want me to do it on his live. Well, there is a solution. There is a solution. Yeah. So this has been an argument. Those of you who've been around know that it's an argument. And you know, it gets better for a little bit, and then we're back to square one again. So I do defend you. Well, no, because you give them mixed messages. You give them mixed messages. But I don't need him to defend me. I want to be able to defend myself. And I want him to shut the fuck up and let me do it. That's it. That's it. And if I choose to do it, and if I choose not to do it, he should support me. So for future, make sure you follow me on YouTube, because if it continues to be that way, I'm walking out with my YouTubers. I'm walking out. His fucking ninnies can have him, can dote on him, can coddle him, can stroke his ego, but I will not be a part of it. They humiliate me. It makes me embarrassed, right? It makes me embarrassed. Treat wife with respect. Exactly. And see, here's the other thing, is when people attack him, I always defend him, because to me it's not okay. It's a boundary that I have. And I tell you guys all the time. I talk about my woes and my relationship, right? Not for you to choose sides. I tell it because we all have those in our relationships. We all get mad. We all fight. We all have feelings. We hurt each other all the time. I use it because it's relatable. I don't use it for you to be one way or the other. right? Complication because we're both on social media. So unfortunately, it draws more attention and people do pick sides. Now, if you pick a side and you're disrespectful to my husband with written words, I see you, I will call you out on it, right? Because I have that boundary that it's not okay. I can say it. I can say and laugh about my kids, but the minute you cross my boundary of poking my children and or my husband, I will defend them. No holds barred. I will defend them, especially my kids, right? It doesn't give you the right to be an asshole, ever. And if you do have a side, that's fine, but you don't need to write about it. I know Mama T. I tell him, I'm like, you know, here's the thing. I see what you're doing, right? There's a lot of people out there who watch how you handle those situations and they see exactly how I feel. I don't even need to say, right? I don't even need to say it to you. Everybody would see it for themselves. The people who have an open mind, the people whose heads aren't up their ass, right? See those qualities in him that he can't see in himself, right? And it's sad to me because he walks around with his head somewhat up his ass. It's not fully up his ass, but somewhat. When it comes to me, it's up his ass. Everybody else, me and the kids, his head's up his ass. You know, doesn't mean I don't love him, right? We're all faulty. We all have our high points and our low points in our person. Doesn't mean I don't want to take him and suffocate him with a pillow at night or take my cast iron pan down from the pot rack and smack him over the head, right? I still love him, and that's why I'm here. I just happen to have a platform, right? I have loyalty with my followers, and I have people that see the difference between right and wrong. Now, not everybody has that ability, right? And some do, but choose not to see it because it would hold them accountable in themselves. And accountability for yourselves is one of the hardest things to do. So, this is my life. I have lived with this man for over 30 years. I married into it. I knew. Now, when I was younger, I did hope there would be some change. He changed in other ways, just not in some. And that stems from his family, right? I always say, you break out of your mold or you stay into your mold. And he is in his mold, never broken out of it. So, yeah, if I smack him. So I'm not happy with him, right? I'm not happy with him, and he knows it. And he called me difficult this morning. You're so difficult. And then, you have my Zoomies every morning when he walks in. If they're pissed off like they were from the night before, they start in on him. This is ridiculous. You're all crazy, right? Never any accountability. Even if 50 people are saying the same thing. Now, I've had Candace, I've had Debbie in my house, and sometimes when he's out of line or says things to me, they also say, dude, and he's like, what? You guys are crazy, and walks out. What is happiness? Happiness comes from within. So if you ain't happy with yourself, you ain't gonna be happy anywhere else. So, anyhow. So, yeah, shit. Deb and Dan even go head to head. Woo! Shit, they blew the roof off of my place. They are the same person, but on opposite ends of the spectrum, and both stubborn as hell. So they're both right in their own lives. Oh shit. Anyhow, but you have to love yourself to love others, right? You have to love yourself to love others. So when I see all these ninnies on here bitching at me and all my wrongs, I do feel an ounce of sadness to them, right? He doesn't ever think he's wrong. Never. And if he does, he never admits it, right? You guys, I tell you, these personalities I have to deal with Salinger men. You know, it's not just Ed, it's Dan too. I get the younger version right now, but he is stubborn, and so am I. I just wish he can validate my feelings. I married Mother Teresa. Well, you're lucky. But, you know, it is what it is. We keep up. I see you being passive aggressive and writing all your lovely comments. You're here. So if you don't like what I talk about, why come on and bitch? Happiness comes within. You're obviously not happy if you have to come on somebody's social media and project your bullshit onto others, or me in this case. Grow up. Maybe one day you'll see you need to remove your head from your ass. Yep. You believe something should be private. Well, Bonnie, that's why you don't have a platform. Not to mention, there are a lot of things that I don't share, right? There's a lot of things that I don't share. I share the things that I think are relatable to most that follow me, based on conversations we've had over 2 years, right? I have women. Oh my God, my husband's Dan. I do it like I share my caregiving experiences to the people who are caregiving and feel the same shit I am feeling. They are thinking the same thoughts I am thinking. Just like my marriage. I don't give a shit. I do it to help others not feel alone. I do it so other people realize they're just as faulty in their relationships. We are all faulty. There's nothing I'm ashamed of when I share, Bonnie. I'm sorry you find it offendable or it should be private. And if you think that way, then maybe this isn't the channel for you, right? It's a very simple, logical explanation for you ninnies out there who don't agree with me, like me, or think I'm whatever you think. Save your breath, save your fingers, save any spraining you can get, and leave, right? It's common fucking sense. Most of the people that are here right now, almost 400 people, right, combined, see that you are being ugly. You are projecting, and your true colors are shining through. I'm being honest. I'm being honest about my life. Why are you so offended by that? Why are you offended by that? But yet, you claim to be offended and bitching, but yet, you're here watching. For what purpose? That I can never understand, right? That I can't understand. Something should remain private. Okay, well, some people should stay off my page, right? I share what I want to share. I'm a 50-year-old woman, right? 50-year-old woman who thinks for herself, doesn't need people telling me how to be and what I should and should not do, right? I don't. You aren't my mama. You aren't my daddy. Get the fuck out. Yep. And everybody here that watches me, for the most part, enjoys what we talk about, right? Enjoys it. That's why they're here. So kiss my ass, kiss it a couple more times, and get the fuck out. Everybody likes to see a train wreck. Well, you have your opinions. I can't change your strong-headedness and your closed-mindedness, nor am I going to. Yeah. Stacy, that was at a 5.2, I think. And I ran 3 miles. Yeah. And now I'm walking, probably for a mile. So, anywho, it is what it is. Like it, love it, or don't. And if you don't, you can see your way out. I am not holding you here. But if you're going to be rude, and if you're going to be disrespectful, I will block your fucking asses. Because everybody has boundaries, right? You guys can report, Emily, we keep up for harassment, bullying, threatening behavior, whatever you need to do. It's real life. And people are afraid, right? People are afraid of, and you guys feel free. I don't have to tell you when you need to report people. Just do it. But if somebody wants to be a pain in my ass and continuously come back, even when people are trying to set them straight and continuously come back, it's a waste of my time. So, nice, I'm jealous. I've been doing 4.2 and 3 incline for 3 miles. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. I don't invite people into my lives, Nikki. They find me. I don't invite them. So, people are not invited. I don't have a door and look for a ticket. So that was kind of a ignorant comment. Yeah, some of us heal, right? Some of us cope with life and our daunting day in, day out experiences by sharing. I've always been an open book, right? I've always shared because it helps me see my wrongs, my rights, or understand my feelings a little bit more, right? My feelings are my feelings, like I tell you that every day. They're valid, and I hate when people tell me that my feelings aren't my feelings, right? It's like, I hate when people say that. You know, my husband does that all the time. Well, you don't feel that way. That's not what I mean. Okay, but you may not mean it that way, but that's how I interpret it. And how many people do you have in your lives that do the same thing and tell you that? Listen to what I'm saying. My husband is ADHD. So his brain stops listening and starts responding, right? Immediately. He hears what he wants and he shuts the rest out because it's not important to him and it's too much information. So I walk away. I walk away. I am learning to say my piece. I am learning to say, you know what? I'm sorry you can't see that. I'm sorry you can't see that you hurt my feelings. Well, what about my feelings? Nope, this isn't about you. This is about me. If you want to talk about you, we can talk about it after I'm done talking about me. Right? Plain and simple. It's called respect. It's called active listening. And it's called, if you love somebody, you should do the best you can to support them, to hear them, and try to understand what they are telling you. Barbara, yeah, freedom of speech. Most folks can't stand someone expressing their opinion. Most people can't stand a woman, right? Talking real, showing strength, showing some sort of power, right? And they find it a threat, right? They find it a threat to them for some reason. Well, not for some reason, because they're weak themselves, and therefore I make them look bad. So they lash out, right? For whatever reason they're angry with me about, or jealous, or afraid to be honest with themselves. And I'm sharing what we are all thinking, feeling, and they don't like that. It's like top secret. We don't talk about that. You're making us look bad. Well, no, I'm not making anybody look bad. You are making yourselves look bad. I am secure in what I say, how I act, and what I do. I mean, and most of the time, Dan and I can do that too. We know what we're thinking, you know, we're in tune. But yes, there are some issues that we just have difference of opinions on. We aren't the same person, right? But you have to be willing to open your mind in order to try to be empathetic and compassionate. And that's what I said. I said, a little empathy for your wife goes a long way. A little compassion and understanding what she's feeling and how she's feeling. That's it. That's all I ask for. I don't ask for you to tell me, oh, you're going to be fine. Well, most likely, yes, by guac. Most likely, yes, I'll be fine. But right now, it's deeper than me worrying about a procedure, right? There's a correlation. There's a connection to what I'm most afraid about. How about recognizing that and just show me some compassion a little bit. Oh, honey, I get it. I know, I'm sure it's tough, right? That's all I need. I don't need, oh, you'll be fine. But my mom, oh, your mom died of lung cancer. Okay, but that's not the point. She started at 50 with endometriosis, and here I am being tested for it. That's not the big deal, right? The big deal is she died 3 years later. Yes, from from lung cancer, primary lung cancer. But it's still, for those of us who've lost parents, and we talked about this yesterday, those of us who have lost those parents still have a timestamp on our lives based on when our parents died. Oh, you can't think that way. Okay, don't tell me. don't, that's not what we need to hear in that moment. And I told him, I said, you do this to me all the time. You shut me down. You never let me finish. You never try to empathize with my feelings, right? You just shut me down. He yelled at me about communication earlier in the day. And I said, this is our biggest problem, is communication, because you stop me, right? You either want to control how I do things or tell me what I'm doing wrong, or, you don't want to hear. I don't go to him, I don't go to him, right? Yeah, don't dwell on it. That's not what we want to hear. And I said that, Erica, right? Leah. So I say that all the time. I said, your words don't help me. You haven't lost a parent. I said, even same with the spirituality thing, right? Like, don't take that away from me, right? Don't take that away from me. Don't take that away from me. Don't, that wasn't your mom you saw, it was probably a dog, Just say, oh my God, that's cool, right? Whether you believe it or not, it's called compassion. If I need to believe I saw her or feel her, right? Don't take that away from me and tell me how stupid it is. You know what I mean? I was my mom. So he just, because he's so black and white, right? And the way he grew up and his parents, and, it's hard sometimes. It's hard, right? It's hard. It's hard to be me. It's hard to have emotions. It's hard to need to talk to him, right? Because he can't deal. He can't deal with it. My shit is too much shit for him on top of everything else he takes on with his family. But that was his choice. And I tell him that all the time. I said, your choice is to stay away from your own family and put the attention into your family, but not your immediate family. In the words of Dilly Pop, I don't know. I don't know. Because my family comes first before everybody else, right? And because I'm such a badass bitch, right? And I'm able to handle our family, right? I handle my family. I call it my family. Those of you love the word my when I use it, because I'm the one who invests. And he allows me to do it because it allows him to focus on other things, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with. Your family should come first, And then if you have time for the outside family, then. But it's not fair for one person to have to deal with our family, right? Do I think it would be different if Grandpa wasn't living with me? No, Linda. No. It would still be the same thing, just without Grandpa. It's been like this for our whole lives, yeah. So it's hard, right? He's always been able to do, kind of be there, right? And that's his choice. It's not mine, but that's his choice. And I've dealt with it myself, right? And because I did it, it gave him, in his mind, I believe, the ability to handle everything outside, because I took care of everything inside, right? Which in the end is not really good for multiple reasons, but it is what it is. I know what I'm doing. I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud of what I've accomplished. At least I can die knowing I put my family first and my kids. Yeah. So, but that's marriage, people. That's marriage. That's what makes marriage hard. That's why this generation runs. He is like Ed in a lot of ways, yeah. That's why marriage is tough. And that's why this generation of people get married, and it gets too hard to work through those issues. And sometimes those issues still follow you, right? But you divorce over those, No. I've made my bed, right? I made my bed. I handle me and handle my situations the way I want, right? He and everybody who makes the same choices has to live with their choices that they made and how they did it. But I know I did most everything right for my family. Even for Dan. Even for Dan. I know my kids know. I know what my kids think, right? I know how I feel. I know how they feel. And I know how they feel about me. And some of you will relate to this. We just take care of ourselves, right? We try to warn, right? We try to tell our spouses, whether it's female or male, what they should do, how they should repair. And if they don't listen, they don't listen. Have a great job. It's a nice home. My wife was yeah. If my husband chooses to leave me, that's on him. That's on him. So I'll give and take in marriage. Yep. Totally give and take, the good with the bad. Ultimately, he's a great guy, right? Ultimately, I'm a great woman. We just have our flaws, like everybody does. I didn't want to divorce him. Yeah, but the double life, there is certain boundaries, Sean. I mean, that's the thing, is that if he's living a different life and having affairs and cheating, there's no place for him in my home, right? 100%. There would be no place for him in my home. Now, you always, in marriage, it should be 50-50, right? Everything should be 50-50 in a marriage. But most of the time, it's not 50-50. Most of the time, the woman carries the majority of the weight. And it's just our nature, right? It's just our nature. I think women tend to sacrifice statistically more for our relationship and for the men than they do for us. And that's just human nature. I mean, that's goes back to caveman days, a long time ago. I know, Mama Kitty. You can only do what you can do. You can't force them to change, right? Whether it's doctors and all that shit. Oh, Beth. Yep. And, you know, that's maybe counseling would help you in Dan. Judy, and here's what I'm going to tell you. Counseling could help everybody. It's not just me and Dan that it helps. Counseling could help even the best relationships, if there are any out there. I have learned to, right? I've learned over the years that if I want something done, I have to do it myself, right? If I want something, I have to get it. If I, you know, whatever, need to take care of shit, I know I have to do it because Dan can't do it for whatever, you know, whatever. Now, as a woman, I have learned to accept certain traits of his because I'm always happy with those traits? Absolutely not. But it's a lose-lose battle. He's 56, right? He's not going to change overnight. It takes active change, active participation in those areas in order to change your behavior. I don't think somebody else's influence, if he's not listening to, say, 200 people, how is he going to listen to a psychologist or a counselor? Come on, let's be real. Salingers have this way about them, this arrogance, if you will, of how they're always right. And they don't do anything wrong. Yeah, and so if I want this marriage to continue the way it is, right? I, unfortunately, as some women do as well, just tolerate those behaviors because there's so many other good things about our people, right? You can't, there's something to be said about all the other traits, right? People always, well, divorce him, you're unhappy. No, I'm happy, I'm unhappy. I don't spend every day unhappy with him. But when I hit a subject that's very sensitive to me, I'm going to be unhappy with him for not taking the ability or the time to see how I feel, right? That's the thing. It's common sense in any relationship to me. Listen, you know? And what pisses me off, right, is when they are in need, they expect us to drop everything and listen to them and support them, right? And we do. And we do, because that's what we do. But it's not always reciprocal. As with friendships, as with anything else, so stop making it about my unhappiness with my husband, because it's not about that. It's about being unhappy in moments because I'm frustrated, right? That he doesn't hear or see me sometimes. And I think that's normal. I think that's normal. I think that's normal. But I love him. And that's why I put up with some of the traits that aren't my favorite. Because there are many other traits that he is really good at. Are you staying together? Do you think it could be Ed making it hard? No, this has nothing to do with Ed. Why are we trying to put Ed in this? This has been, you guys, we have been married for 27 years. 27 years before Ed lived with us, you know? This has nothing to do with Ed. Does it heighten our stress level? Yes. But it doesn't add problems that have been there for a long time. Ed has nothing to do with our relationship or Dan listening. A lot of people, you're not the only one who has said that. Ed provides his own stress, right? Ed provides the sleepless nights, right? Ed provides the irritation, the compounding stress of making sure he's safe, making sure he doesn't fall, making sure he is well taken care of and protected as much as possible, right? That can be a stress on our relationship. And when we're both tired And when we both have, shit to do, things to get done, and we are exhausted, yes, it's a pain in the ass to have him around, right? That is an additional stress, because if we're both not able to help each other out with dealing with him, then it makes it harder for us. And we bicker, right? It's not fights, it's just bickering, because we're tired, we're worn out, we're frustrated, and nobody wants to talk about where his fucking keys are or where his brother Bill is, for fuck's sake, you know? What do you feel you're not doing well in your relationship? Let's see. Dan would say, right? I'm going to tell you what he would say I'm not doing well. Because I think, for the most part, I do everything well, right? I'm stubborn, right? So sometimes he wants to tell me how to do things or what I'm doing wrong, and he expects me just to be like, okay, honey, I'll change that. Well, we all know that's not my personality. But I am a badass bitch. This man's ass is sparkling clean because I allow him to spend the time on getting it there, right? I hold the weight in this house. I hold majority of the burden of this house, right? It's plain and simple. Just look at the things I do, right? I take care of his father. I have done the ultimate sacrifice. I take care of the house. I take care of the rental. I take care of all the things that he doesn't have the patience for, which is nothing other than the outside, what he wants to invest his time in, right? Brianna, I didn't say I was perfect, honey. Now, don't put words into my mouth. I would say my biggest thing that he doesn't like is I don't spend enough time with him because I'm so busy, right? Which I told him yesterday when he was bitching about something. I said, well, you can help me. You can help me. You know Grandpa needs a shower. You know I gotta make his dinner. You know I gotta do this. If you wanna go into live early, why don't you step forward and say, hey, I'm gonna give my dad a shower so it frees up a little bit more of your time so we can go on the live earlier, right? And he didn't do it. He just went and sat down. So we didn't go on earlier because I still had a list of things I needed to get accomplished before the live. He said, well, just tell me what you need me to do. And went and sat down and did whatever he needed to do. To me, that's common sense, right? To others who have ADHD, maybe it's an ADHD. This is not private information. Again, for all you people who thinks this is too private for you and your little ears, then you need to step away from my lives. Because in this live, you will always hear my trials and tribulations in my relationship. You will always hear about my perimenopause, right? You will always hear about my fecal issues, my leaky bladder, right? And everything else. Oh, here's Jeff. Jeff, I think you're way underestimating how much Ed is affecting your marriage. Jeff, I think you don't have a clue. You can have your own opinion, but I'm telling you, you have not a clue. So many men are that way. I have been married 37 years. Exactly. Why you complain if it was your father? Oh, SRT, speak about what you know about. Did I get that right? Speak about what you know about. SRT, Ed has been in my life since I was 5 years old. So newsflash, I have been around Ed longer than his own son Dan has. So speak about what you know about. Remember, speak about what you know about. And if you don't know about it, right, then don't speak about it because you have false information. So frustrated now. It's been 10 years and I think I should leave. Now, how many times have I, right, how many, yeah, what I'm saying is open your mind, open your ears. You don't know about my relationship with Ed, obviously, or you wouldn't have said what you just said. Speak about what you know about. Once again, Ed has been in my life since I was 5. So try to figure that one out. You know how many times, Viking, I have thought about leaving? Not recently, but early in my relationship. And there was one time Dan would tell you about that I almost did. And he was scared. Oh, let's talk about what you know about. It was fine. Am I triggered? For fuck's sake. I hate when people say that. Don't allow these people to trigger you. They're not triggering me. My heart rate is shit. My heart rate is 85 right now. That's not triggered. That's not what you were saying, SRT. You were being passive aggressive by saying when I do the same thing to my father. There's nothing wrong that I'm doing, number one. Number two, I wish I had the chance to take care of my father, but he unalived himself. So unfortunately, I won't have the time or the pleasure of taking care of my father. Thirdly, I don't understand what you think I'm doing wrong, right? So anyhow, it sounds like it. Well, again, talk about what you know about Inspired My Nature. Talk about what you know about. You don't know me, obviously. And if you did, you would know this isn't triggered. This is enlightening the idiots of the world. I know how it is, I'm just saying. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you started with a passive-aggressive comment, attacking me and my relationship with Ed. Let's talk about what you know about, right? And don't be ugly, because you are. And if you're thinking I'm just saying because I know about it, well then you wouldn't have started with an ugly response, comment, right? Hey, Big Al. Anyhow, do you mind getting triggered and want to just leave because you're caring for your husband and no one else is around to help? Nope, I would leave. I did hormone cream made for me too. It's since my 40s. Now hot flushes back us up. Oh God. I treat Ed respectable. I treat Ed normal. Some moments are great with him. Some moments are not so great with him. Just like my marriage, just like my relationships with my kids. We all have our ups and downs in life, right? We're all emotional people. We all get triggered. We all get frustrated. We all get mad. We all get sad. Stop making me out to be a victim because I have emotions. I don't know why people want to do that. It's just such a waste of time. I don't know. I'm suggesting that hiring a home health nursing can be beneficial. Oh, again, talk about what you know about. You guys, home health, I sounded like Rick there, did you hear that? Home health is available for a reason, right? Dan and I work in the home. We have social media, that's our job now. So we can both help take care of his father. Home health is not needed right now. It wouldn't do anything for us right now, other than to babysit if we wanted to just go out and do something. Dan let the dog out, so that was what the look was for. Home health doesn't help us right now. Home health would be a benefit when he maybe needs more medical attention, right? Right now, it would be a waste of money. A complete and utter waste of money. Hi, Deb. Yeah. So they're expensive, right? We're not going to just blow money to blow money. We're going to use it if and when he needs it. Our room is right next door to him. A home health aide would do nothing for us or would not keep us asleep because he is right there. Now, when he comes a important time, if he's sedentary and all that stuff, it might be a great idea. But talk about what you know about with my life. Now, you may think you know something because you experience in it, but you don't know what our life is about, or you choose not to listen to how we talk. Yeah, it's not 30-ish an hour here. It's almost 50. It's almost 50. It's almost 50. So for us, we sacrifice, right? We sacrifice and not going out and doing dinner together and stuff like that because it's just not worth the cost yet. We need the money for when we need it. So yeah. Here it's like 46 or more depending. And if you need somebody overnight, it goes up. Yeah, it's very expensive. So again, you know, it's having enough respect to understand, you know, what we're doing, how we deal with it, and every situation is different. And that's where people kind of cross the lines with me. So again, we sacrifice our time as a couple, right? We separate our time separately, right? He'll do his thing, I'll do my thing, because that's what we do. We're sacrificing for his dad. So you, remember they helped her go to the bathroom and get her what she wanted. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is that one of us is always home. So it's not like, you know, at the point if Dan had to work, he just let the dog's just roaming around. If Dan had to work, you know, and it was just me, we probably would hire somebody to help me out because I couldn't do this all day long, right? Without the help and the freedom to leave if I needed to, type of a thing. Yes, we're all different. And that's the thing, what pisses me off about people's ignorance. And this is, again, once a reason why we're in the mess we are in our world today. About leaving 100 times. I've decided to leave the weekly on 90 at Dementia. How could I leave? Well, because I bought. Yeah, you know, marriage isn't easy. It's not easy. And I can tell you, with me, it's had its trials and tribulations. I'm not saying that I am a perfect candidate, but you know what? I'm pretty perfect when it comes to majority of the things in this marriage. The only thing, yeah, and perimenopause. No, Medicare will not pay for us. Trust me, you guys, we have done everything. You're a bad girl. We have done everything. Hold on. Where's Baxter? Come on. You want a treat? Where's the kitty, 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 kitty? Kitty, 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 kitty. Come on, Baxie. You want to play ball? Let's go, Bax. Hello, Baxie. Hello. Hello. Good boy. You want a treat? You want a treat? Come on, Baxie.
They're going to play, Coco.
Nope, you gotta shut it.
They're going to play, Coco. They're going to go play the ball. They're going to play ball, Coco. Maxie's got that ball. Are you coming to play ball? Coco. Bad Coco. Bad Coco. She's talking about Medicare money. There's potentially, we probably could qualify to get paid through the state. We just haven't done that. And she's talking about home health care. Hi, Coco. The dog's sitting right over there looking at me. Like, Coco, where are you going? Yeah, it's running off, but it comes over to make sure I'm still here. The dog has to make its presence known, or I do? You're back?
Well, yeah. Go ahead. Deal with her.
The Coco? That might go.
I don't want you speaking to my friends like this, so you need to go away. I will not tolerate your negativity on this platform of mine. Both of them.
Coco to Coco. Come on. Come on, baby. You don't just look at me. Bye-bye.
Oh.
You Your dog has got problems. He thinks it's pretty funny over there, looking at me.
Can you
with
keep
funny
your
eyes.
voice down?
I can't talk now?
No, you're too negative for my platform and my people. Can you
I
walk
bring
away?
your platform up.
Can you walk
uplift
away?
it.
You're censored, just like I do. If I'm censored, you're censored. So pay attention to your dog. When I care for my fur, it seems everyone else seems to know how I should be. Yes, always, Patty. Good, Sarah. Let me know how you like it. Yeah.
This is the way we start the day, start the day, start the day. I got lettuce in here, dear.
Dan,
Yeah.
deal with the issue you
I'm
created.
dealing with it right
No,
now.
you're not, because all you're doing is you're pissing me off by being here and not being socially aware. See how that works both ways? So be quiet, deal with the dog, and there you have it. I'm on the Maroc that I have in I'm Rude. Okay. I have the Maroc, which I have in my TikTok shop. He needs to divorce me. Oh, I know. He sure does. God, I wish he would. God, I wish he would divorce me. Life would be so much easier. I was censored AF. Yeah, he let the dog out. He let the dog out. Because he doesn't pay attention, because he was coming out here to spread his seed and his knowledge and his whatever he thinks he spreads on my platform. So now I'm going to censor him on my platform like he does on his to me. Yeah, you know why? Because I can. Yeah. Hi, Unky. I agree. Go get the dog. Yeah, I mean, why was I having to go? Like, he walked away. And then who called him? Zach. So he was inside after he let the dog out because Zach called. It's like, and I came inside looking at him like, what? You always leave me to clean up the mess. Do it. I'm very rude. I know, God, I'm very rude. Shit, but yet you're here, Coconut Water, and you stay. Funny, huh? So, yeah, I just found your channel today and loving it. Welcome, and I have no fucks to give. Plate help with soreness. Carrie, I love this thing, right? And I'm gonna tell you, the biggest surprise I had with this, and sorry for everybody who gets the repetition, and there's so many people that come in and out and see me on it. The mere fact that I didn't have room to finish funding that will cover someone to care or pay you. It won't. It won't for us, Charlotte. And there's many reasons because Ed has assets. I've looked into it. I've looked into it. We've looked into it. There are people who say, oh, you can get your, heat paid for. You can do all this. We don't qualify for that. Yeah. So the biggest surprise out of this plate for me has been my bladder, right? My bladder. And I don't leak like I used to at all. So it's been a godsend to me. For most people, it'll help with your core. For me too. It has isometric. Your core. Like I'm engaged. Everything's engaged. So it does help your. Oh, good beach. Do you have the shaky thing linked? So you make some money if I buy it. Yes, I make I think $10 if you buy this or less. I don't know. I don't remember. Most of the things that I buy, this is on my TikTok shop. Biggie. It's on my TikTok shop. So this is Maroc. I don't know about the other ones. So if you're going to venture out and buy it from somebody else, that's fine. I only speak on the Maroc one because I've had it. So a lot of people who have neuropathy have said that, it's helped them. It helps me when I'm sore, lymphatic drainage, circulation, all the other things. But for me, the highlight is my bladder. Yeah. My bladder. So if you're leaking, and so far the women who have bought it have said they've also they've also noticed the bladder change. So yes, she's over that income bracket to qualify. Yeah, and it's hard because when you have so much in assets, which Ed has more than he should have. Like if he had no money, it would be different, right? But because he has X amount of dollars, it doesn't work. And nor do we benefit from it because guess what we have? Assets, money. And so it doesn't, you have to really be low income, and the person that you're taking care of has to be low income for it to qualify, unfortunately. I use this machine 10 minutes a day. After I run and exercise, I get on it. So for like you guys, I think it's in my TikTok shop, Michelle. So if you go to my main page, Mrs. D-Cell NorCal, and if you look and see all my videos, right above it, there's different headers. It says subscription, it says this, it says that, and it'll say showcase. You hit the showcase or you type in my name, Danielle Salinger TikTok shop, and it should take you to it. And, or find my video where I'm on it and you can just hit it and it'll take you right there. My man had millions and still managed to work the system. Yeah, and unfortunately, Dan doesn't work the system as an attorney. So he wouldn't do it. And I know people who do it too. But, you know, he won't do it. No, but that's okay. It is what it is. So basically that's it. I have a whole bunch of different things. Tomorrow, I shared the kitty cat sweater yesterday. Tomorrow, I'm going to show the blanket that I sit with every morning. And then I'm going to start with, I have my Built bars that I do. And I have that mirror, god-awful mirror that shows me things that I don't like to see. Why can't you utilize Ed's money for some help? I could, but for what? We don't really need help really right now. And in case we try to hold off on Ed's money until it's really necessary, you know, his money is there for that purpose, for when he needs care. And that's why he's living here with us. Oh, Steph, right? You will see the mirror. You won't see me in the mirror, but you might, with clothes on though. We tried home health. Age cannot tolerate their tardiness. And, you know, and that's the thing, see. And, you know, I have a friend who has the same type of a system where he has aide come in and help him with certain things and stuff like that. And there's always something, right? You have to worry about certain things. Sometimes you just get shit over and over again. You get stolen from, you know, they don't like them. And y'all know Ed, you guys. Those of you who have paid attention and are vested into this family, you know he barely recognizes Andrew. And Andrew went to take him the other day to lead him back to the couch, and he looked at Andrew with such conviction and he looked at me like, what is he doing? You know? And I said, no, it's your grandson. It's your grandson. He's trying to take you to the couch. And it was like, okay, Ed would not be, we're screwed in a way, right? Because he almost has to be further along in the disease in order for us to get help. And I don't even know if at that point that would help. I don't know. But at some point he might need, you know, the medical assistance, you know, with oxygen or medication and stuff that we can't do because we're not licensed or whatever. So it's really, really hard, right? It's really, really hard. So again, it's called sacrifice. And trust me, I have looked into so many different things for myself and my sanity, and to help out financially with Ed's costs, right? And so with TikTok, right, and with this platform and having these platforms, it helps take care of him as well without touching money, right, until he needs it. I have a lock on my pantry, yes. It started for started for Dan, and now is for Ed, because Ed it's dangerous, first of all, for him to be in the pantry, as is the kitchen, and he would eat shit all day long, and that's not what we do. We like to monitor what he eats. The siblings need to help more. Why? You know, here's the thing. The people who are helping are helping. It's not up to anybody else to help other than the people who have volunteered to help. You know, if they, should they come to give us a break? Probably, but nobody thinks about it, and we don't ask because that's not us. And for me, really, it speaks volumes, you know, it speaks volumes to me. And I've lost a lot of respect
for them because they're letting me do this. Have you seen the niece and nephew? Yeah, Brooke, I see them every weekend. Yeah, and yeah, you can't force help. Thank you. You can't force help. People have to do it because they want to do it. You know, people have to do it because they should do it. Right? You're right. They should come over and sit with their dad and say, "Hey, you and Danielle want to go out to dinner? I would love to sit there for. I would love to let you guys go." No, nobody says that ever. Why is that? Because out of sight, out of mind. They don't think about it that way. They don't care enough, you know? To me, if you care enough, you would do it for the people you care for. And my opinion, right? Just my opinion. And you know, it's hard for Dan to understand where I stand on this because, you know, it affects me so much with them. And honestly, it affects me a lot. With respecting and all that stuff. That's the truth. And Dan's not a person to, you know, ask for help. He's never that way. Why do I make all those smirky faces all the time? I also moved 1,000 miles away, so shouldn't have to deal with it. I know, people do it. And people always say, well, why don't they do it? Why don't they do it? You tell me why they don't do it. You tell me why they don't do it, you know? Do they watch my lives? No, maybe. And truth hurts, right? Old Hickory. Yep, this was, I got this shirt a couple years back when the tornado ripped through East Nashville. Was it East Nashville? I think. And so they're not living it. Yeah, they don't see it. They don't understand. They don't think about it because they don't understand what we do every day. And Fran, that's what we should do. Like, families should do that. Families should offer their assistance. Families should be like, hey, you know, why don't you go and do this? Like, you know, do you guys want to go get dinner sometime? Yeah, that would be nice. It would be wonderful for them to suggest that. I would do it. I saw y'all last night and hear you today. Oh, Kelly. And at your funeral, they are the first ones crying. I don't think they would cry at my funeral. I don't think they would cry at my funeral. Salingers aren't like that. So obviously you don't want to look after Ed sincerely. Who said that, Allison with one L? I mean, what a stupid, ignorant comment. Do you actually really write that and send it out? Like, it just blasts me away how ignorant people can be. I sincerely, how do you get what I just said? I sincerely, so you don't obviously want to look after Ed sincerely. Allison with one L, do you not understand the sacrifice for the last 3 years I have made to care for this man? I've given up my life. I've given up my freedom. So if that's what that means to you sincerely, then think what you want to think. God, people are so ignorant. So sincerely, you want to take care of Ed. Sincerely, if that's what you think, you're cuckoo. I miss them. Some will never understand Twitter. No. And complain the whole time. You call it complaining, Bobby Joe smiles. And why don't you smile a little bit? This is facts. Why do you look at that as complaining, right? And Queen 13 said, do it without complaining. You want to come and step in my shoes for the day? How about a week and see what you would think? And this is not complaining, right? This is not complaining. This is called speaking real, speaking truth when you deal with caring for somebody and becoming a caregiver. Oh, because I'm not claiming to be perfect. Oh, because I'm not saying everything is unicorns and fucking rainbows. Therefore, I must be complaining about it. No, I'm speaking truth about being a caregiver. Sorry you guys are offended by that. Sorry because you guys take offense to that. It's called talking. It's called relatability. It's called letting people know who are obviously doing the same thing that they stay for, that they are okay and they are normal. Their feelings are valid because caregiving is hard. It's thankless. It's a fucking doesn't end. You're sick, you're sad, you're mad, you're broke, you're frustrated, and you still do it. Why? Because we sacrifice. We sacrifice, Allison, with what now? What time of day do you look after Ed? What time of day do you pull your head out of your ass? Just a question. Is there a specific time of day that you take it out and see and aren't so tunnel vision, or do you keep it in your ass all day long? Just curious. Allison with 1L. Oh, shit. What time of day? What time of day do you take care of your kids? What time of day? What schedule do you take when you have to get up and feed with a... What the fuck kind of stupid question is that? Oh, shit. I mean, it's so stupid, right? It's so stupid. It's like saying the same thing. What time? Oh, this is Allison with 1L. I blocked her on YouTube. So she found her way back to my low channel. You seems like you are always too out and too busy. Yes, I'm always too busy, Allison Parker with 1L. You got me there, girl. Ask family for help. She asked, don't you get paid to care for them? And that's what's really sad, right? It's what, yeah, Allison with 1L is no longer on YouTube because she's been blocked. So now she's here. And her name is Allison Parker. I remember, Dan will say I hold a grudge. Yeah, I remember the idiots who are a pain in my ass.
Hurry up, Pop. Stay there, Coco. I see Coco moving and grooving and moving to the music. Keep walking, Pop. We're going to get some steps. What? We're going to get some steps. Okay. Walk down the driveway there. We'll go down. We'll check out what's the street. Check out those tall trees. My car? That's my car, Pop. This is your car here. That's my Porsche, yeah? Do you like
A Porsche he doesn't drive.
Yeah. You like all of them? All right.
His wife drives it. Oh, you remember, that's nice. Oh, yeah. Because you're just a woman that's very sad on herself. Yeah. And I remember you because people's true colors shine through, Allison Parker. And it's sad that you got blocked from one account and you have to still kept your name and needed to search me out because I live rent free in your head, honey. So you had to search me out. Yeah, that's interesting. And it's actually kind of flattering, right? She got blocked and she's become a troll on TikTok now. So it's funny. It's kind of flattering though, right? That she had to find her way back to me because I bugged her that much. I do kind of like it. I feel special, Allison. Thank you so much. Anyhow, you said you don't want home health care because all they do is watch him while you went out, but then complain that the siblings don't help, don't do stuff, are going to complain about. Bobby Joe Smiles. There we go with the smiles again. Catch a clue. There you have it. Smiles. Yes, still here. Smiles is still here. Trying to, Smiles is still here. Trying to prove a point. Their point. Is it a female or a male? Anybody know? Bobby Joe. Probably a female, right? Just seems like a female kind of thing to say. Yeah, good old Allison with 1L. Yeah, she's here. Yeah, thanks, Kim. We're just going to leave the ignorance shining through. Let them continuously make asses of themselves, even with Allison with 1L. I'm giving her the attention she needs because apparently she needs it from me or else she wouldn't have been on my page once again. So you act like Dr. Ed's a burden when in reality he had given you more than you can realize. Red Eye Jetty, why are you putting words into my mouth? Why are you assuming that that's what I say? I never use the word burden. I use the word sacrifice. And everybody who caregives sacrifices their life and their time for the ones they love, right? Pull your head out of your ass and stop being a ninny. I found a dead mouse in the garage. We have some winners on here today, Deb. Yeah. In life, we have to do things that we sometimes complain about. It's life. It's not even complaining. I mean, I don't look at it as complaining. Now, maybe I don't really look at anything that I say as complaining. I look at it as my truth, my reality. This is things that I deal with every day. And more people than not, right, enjoy it, right? Thanks, Paulette. It's not easy, But Allison with one L, I believe she at one point lectured me because, she also was a caregiver and would never do the things or say the things or act the way that I act because, she's the perfect one. I'm obviously unfit, unkept, and should be locked away and put in a cage. Yeah. They've been bothering me. My heart is cold. No, if it was cold, I'd be dead. So, it's not cold. I can guarantee you that. Good thing I'm not on here live. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Meezy. And I feel bad for the people, I feel bad for the caregivers who don't have platforms and don't have the ability to vent. And that's why they find other caregivers that they can relate to as their way to cope and say, yes, girl, me too. I understand what you're feeling. I understand. Real caregivers don't take away from the caregivers that they watch. They're there to support, right? They're there to uplift. We're here together to vent and to stress. Not enough caregivers, in my view, the way I see and who I see on here, aren't like me. They don't tell you the things and they don't show their emotions the way I do. Number one, I cannot hide this, right? This will not be hidden. Even if I'm trying to fake it, it won't work. I don't think enough of them do and act the way I do because I am truthful. I'm not hiding behind a fake facade or a facade of perfection because there's no such thing.
You gotta power up that step, Pop. You gotta power right up that
What
step.
I deal with every day is very stressful. It's not just Ed stressed. It's not just Ed stressed. Ed contributes to the stress of the house. Absolutely.
Towards the dogs. Towards the dogs.
It's also completely heartbreaking at the same time. So you all feel every emotion. No, it's definitely stressful, right? It's definitely stressful, and it is a sacrifice. Instead of belittling caregivers and trying to change their narrative, why don't you support them? Because would you sacrifice your freedom for somebody in your family? And for somebody else? I mean, come on. Not a lot of people do it. And those of us that do it should be held to a different standard, even through imperfections, because we are all perfectly imperfect. We are all going to lose our shit, right? We are all going to lose our patience. We are going to wish at times that we weren't doing this. Those are true emotions. But in the end, we are going to be thankful we did it. Oh, hummingbird. Here it is again. Mama. But, that's the facts. And people don't want to see that because their heads are up their ass, right? They don't want to see that. They don't want to understand it. It is a ruthless undertaking. It doesn't give you a break. You walk around with a certain level of anxiety all day and stress because you don't know what lies ahead. You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know if he's going to get hurt. You don't know if he's going to get sick. You don't know what the next phase is going to be. That's a stress we have all day long. And all of you caregivers probably feel that, right? That tension, that stress. Even when I sleep, I go to bed and I think to myself, fuck, can I just sleep maybe for 5 hours straight? Can I just please, dogs, Ed, Dan, let me sleep because I am dying on the vine. You can never relax. You can never relax. Ever. We have sacrificed. I have sacrificed. And in the end, right, look at what he's done. He's opened the door for us for a wonderful platform to be able to vent, to be able to teach, to be able to love and share kindness and share support to others. He has opened the door for so many things, right? Not only for that, he's opened the door for my forgiveness. Talk on what you know, right? Talk on what you know. There's so much more of a story between Ed and I that some of you are aware of and some of you are just completely clueless on, that it's kind of a beautiful thing. So for you guys to sit there and project ugliness onto others because you guys are miserable is really sad. It's sad that, yeah. Yeah, it is a beautiful story, right? It's a beautiful story. And it's a beautiful story because in the end, when Ed passes, there's going to be so much closure and, closure in ways that I never got with my dad, closure in another, and finally in a relationship that maybe wasn't as great as it should have been. You're not the victim, Ed is. Sunshine, and you know that how? You know that how? How do you know I'm not a victim? How do you know what Ed and I's relationship was like since I've been 5? For you, again, speak on what you know. And you have no fucking clue. Yeah. He need professionalism help. He need how to learn how to write. You can clearly see he has no idea what caregivers give up for themselves. Don't let yourself get caught up in the nonsense. Oh, hi, Sherry. 2 of his posts ago. I don't even know if I want to read it. Someone forced to help someone and gets that upset. Like, what are you really doing to him? Bobby Joe. I'm worried about your father-in-law. You seem very stressed about helping him. I'm worried you are going to do something. Are you all reporting him? Y'all report him. I'm going to hide him. Especially when people accuse me of being abusive, you're done. Tolerance is gone. Done. I draw the line. Thank you. I don't know, on the 2nd of this month, Tammy, I'm so sorry. He doesn't go to my brother-in-law's. I've had him for a year now. Full time. Yeah. I just don't know what's going on. So no, he hasn't gone to Mark's house in a year. You want me to follow? I have a lot of pages, Sarah. I have a lot of pages because I have a lot of haters. So my main page is Mrs. D Cell NorCal. Everything's in my link tree. Mrs. D Cell NorCal, Mrs. D Cell NorCal 2, which is what I'm on now for lives because people run me off and shut me down. So I only will go on live accounts on this account and Mrs. D Cell NorCal 4. So I have 4 accounts, right? And you can thank the angry and the jealous people of the world. Because Mark's old, you guys. Mark's old and he was dealing with some own shit himself, and it was safer here than he was at Mark's house. And it's hard for one person to take care of Ed. Yeah. It's hard for, yes, caregiving is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Having children, so much easier. Yeah. And Mark is just not fit to take care of his dad because, it's hard. And there's 2 people here. We have property, we have more capabilities. We're younger, and he thrives here, right? He thrives here. He's got animals. So anyhow, that's why. So, yeah, I mean, Mark is old. I mean, he's 65, 66. He has his own shit he's dealing with, right? I mean, it's not fair to, he would have continued to do it, right? He would have continued to do it. But it was causing a lot more stress for him. And it started to get to the point where Grandpa, it was harder to transport him. It's just too much. It becomes too much at some point. It's not fair for Grandpa either.
Don't forget though, Mark takes care of my mom.
It also, it's hard to transport him. Now, he stayed with Mark, I think, one night when Dan was gone, and he handled it like a trooper. But, it's not fair to Ed at this point. People, Dan's whole theory is he would love if people would come here, Mark would come here, but it's unfair to have Mark come here when he's got animals to take care of. And, I don't want other animals in my house. So you guys, anyhow. S. Myers, we just went on vacation in May. That's probably the only vacation we will be on together. Dan has done a couple things by himself. He's traveled for TikTok and he went with his friends just recently. I'm going to Nashville at the end of October for my cousin's wedding rehearsal thing. So anyhow, so we do it separately, and that's just what we do. That's how we sacrifice ourselves and caring for his dad is by being separate. Yeah. Addie, it is. When Mom got sick, it was mostly me caring for her. My brother couldn't deal with it. And a lot of people can't deal with it. Stop pushing people into a position that they didn't want in the first place, or they would have asked for it or done it, right? It's just like people spend too much time on, well, what about the other people? How often do they see them? It's really nobody's business but our families. They see them as much as they want to see him, put it that way. Unless you've been in their shoes, yeah. So it's just, I reported Mike for harassment. Thanks. I'm still here. I know I gotta go. I have some things I want to do. I'm hoping I can go and, cha-ching a little bit with my free play. Cha-ching, cha-ching. I got no money for anything else. So I can only make my $120. I got $120 of free play. So I was hoping that I could just go for a little bit, and not gonna last long, but I'm hoping that I can get away for an hour or two and just make it work, but it probably won't last that long. Yeah. So I was hoping to maybe get out for an hour or so and just maybe have a glass of wine and just, have some fun. I am overwhelmed. I am tired. I am sad. I am scared. There's a lot of different things, that I'm going through right now. And I am trying to do the best I can overall, right? I need to decompress, and I feel like I haven't been able to. But I don't know, because Dan's like, I got a lot of work to do today. So what that tells me is probably not. Yeah. And Drake, I took one earlier yesterday. Yeah, I had to be a caregiver. I'm doing it for 12 years. God, 12 years. Fuck. I yeah, you guys, I mean, it's just the little things when you're caregiving that are so important. Yesterday I had the worst day compiled with Dan's behavior on the live. And it wasn't the ninnies, right? People get so conflicted. They think I'm triggered by the ninnies. No, I want to be able to respond to the ninnies. I was triggered by my husband. just, putting baby in the corner. And I will not be silenced, because if I want to speak up on something, I should feel privileged to be able to do so. And so that was the topper of my day. But I did, Drake. I took a gummy. I took half a gummy. I think at like 2:30 yesterday, because my head was pounding. I couldn't breathe. I just felt like so anxious and so just out of my mind. I was just so, and I just like, I don't even fucking care. Cut it in half. I popped it. And then at 4, I poured my first glass of wine. I gave Grandpa a shower. I showered, and then I poured my first glass of wine, because it was a shit of a day. It was a shit of a day. Yeah. And then I took another half at the end of the night, just so I can sleep. And I think I finally got like a good stretch of sleep. Finally, like I think it was a good 4.5 hours of stress, unstressed sleep. It was, I feel better today. Like my mind feels still stressed, right? Because it doesn't just go away, but, I feel a little less overwhelmed, right? No, I'll keep with my gummies. Yeah. So I'm not up there yet, Drake. I'm a little nervous to take a whole one. 10 milligrams. It was so funny because I saw a TikTok and it made me laugh, right? I'm so paranoid I'm so scared to take 10, right? So I break it up and then I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. And sometimes depending on how much you've eaten or whatever, it affects you a little differently. And so this one woman came on and she's like, okay, so 35 milligrams taken. And I thought I took 10. So here we go. Now, I would literally lose my mind. Like if I took a 10, I eventually will probably work myself up to it. But I'm not there yet. I'm still too scared. I'm still too scared. This is one of my other hats that is coming out, and I have to call Jill. Jill, I'm a flake. But this is the other one. This is the other hat that I kind of gave you guys. I'm ready. Sometimes I was ready to give Grandpa one too. So this is one of my my hats. I know, but you guys are professionals. You guys have done this for a long time. You know what I mean? So I'm slowly working my way up, right? I started with a quarter. I'm at a hat. I'm at a half, and so I don't know. I took 100 milligrams. All I can say is don't drink with it. Yeah. So I did that, not 100, but no smoke. But I don't know what happened, but yeah, like the other week I had too much alcohol. I had I think I had a bottle of wine, which is 3.5 glasses. And I ended up taking the other half of the gummy when I probably should have waited a little bit. And I got sick. Yeah. Dan's like, you idiot. Haven't you learned from my mistakes? I'm like, well, I didn't think I was that bad. But yeah, I didn't throw up, but I was dry. I was like, that saliva I was over the toilet spitting, when that saliva comes out and you've got like gallons of saliva coming and you open your mouth and it was just pouring out. And I was like, for fuck's sake, just vomit already. It wasn't even a dry heave. Like it was just saliva just pouring out of my mouth. Like it was a faucet. And I was so mad. I was just like, I need it to stop. And eventually it did. And then I laid down and I was fine. And it didn't even make me sleep. You know? It didn't even make me sleep. It fucking pissed me off. What is with the saliva? Where is the scientific shit about the saliva? Never again. Right. And it was so funny because Andrew was like, Mom, Mom. That is the worst thing. I've done that before. I'm like, Andrew, shit. But I just tell them, and I make my kids laugh. I'm like, yeah, well, your mom took too many milligrams and drank a bottle of wine. It wasn't good. They're like, oh no. Yes, I will let you know when we are live. I have to call my gal, Jilly. She wants me to walk through the website, and I was a space cadet yesterday, so maybe tomorrow I'll do it so we can get this up, for you guys. So, oh my God, your dog. Ugh. Maybe that's what it is from Baxter. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that, Michelle. Holy shit. My dog comes in with these like saliva strands, and I'm like, bruh, what is this? And I bet you that's because he's anxious, God, it took me 9 years to realize that. Shit, thank you for telling me that's what that is. I learned to not eat a big bowl of chili before getting drunk. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, almost, Sarah. Almost, yeah. We're working on it. We're almost there. Yeah, Turner and Hooch. Michelle, you just gave me the biggest epiphany on the planet. Bye, Pam. It's so funny because like he'll be panting and then he comes in all, I'm like, dude, what? And then the fucking shit. Now I know. And eat hot potato chips. Oh my God. Linda, that was my Jennifer's, I called her name out, but her biggest like bad story was hot Cheetos and vodka. She never does that anymore. Thank you, Michelle, for pointing out the obvious that now I'm just like, duh. Anyway, all right, guys, I gotta finish my shit. I had fettuccine Alfredo. He could have eaten a mushroom too. I have mushrooms everywhere, but it's fine. I'm gonna, depending on if I can go to the casino or not, if I don't pop on by 5, you guys, probably I am gone and enjoying myself. If I do come on, then I'll be on. But you remember, subscriber lives are supposed to be today. But depending on if I can get away today, I might just call it a free day for me. But again, if you don't see me by 5, know that Danielle is she's out. Or maybe if I go early enough, I can still come back and do it. Anyhow, Sarah, this was they were raising money for the hurricane several years ago. Tornado, sorry, that went through East Nashville. And so I bought some shirts to support in the helping of rebuild or whatever it was. So this was years ago. But anyway, all right, guys. Adios, amigos. Remember, you are important, you are worthy, and you matter, and your feelings are just that, yours. Do not let somebody trample over your feelings. Do not let people tell you how to feel. You are responsible for your own feelings, and they are valid. It doesn't matter. Oh, Nancy, thank you. You're sweet. They are what it is. Don't allow people to tell you, and don't overthink your feelings. They are how you feel, and that is okay, right? That's okay, you guys. That's okay. God, Lee. And don't allow people to do it. Set your boundaries like I did on the live. I don't care if I'm in public. I don't care if I'm on a live. And I don't care if there's 5,000 people watching. If somebody steps on my toes, including my husband, I am going to put a stop to it. Anyway, there you have it. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. Thank you for the gifts on both sides.